So you can hear there I'm going between the two modes, and that is the reason why we need to learn the modes, working from one root note and not always pulling it back to that diatonic key center. They've each got their own personality and we need to learn them. Alexa, what's the meaning of life?
The meaning of life depends on the life in question. 42 is a good approximation.
Holy macaroni. Hello YouTubers. Okay, so today I want to do something on the modes. Yep, that thing that everybody and the dog gets really confused about, including me. I've been there before. Now, before we get into this lesson, I just want to tell you that we're here in Brooklyn, New York with the SBL team, and we're creating some amazing courses for the SBL membership, Scots Bass Lessons membership. And today we're filming a course with none other than Rich Brown, specifically on the modes, which is why I thought I'd record this lesson for you today to give one huge kind of breakthrough tip for me when it came to learning the modes that really helped me actually get them down. So what Rich is going to be doing is creating a full course on them. I'm just going to give you really the secret that moved me from not being able to understand what the heck to do with them to actually being able to use them. So that's what we're going to be doing in this video. But first of all, if you haven't heard of Rich Brown before, guys, you need to check him out. He's based over in Toronto. He is one of my favourite all-time ever bass players. You might not have heard of him. The guy is an absolute beast. His melodic sensibility, his time. I'm just going to show you Rich playing, and that will say everything for me. So as you can see, Rich can play just a little bit. And remember guys, if you are waiting for these courses in the SBL membership, remember that Rich and all of the guys that are creating these courses out here in New York have actually already got a ton of pre-recorded seminars in the Scots Bass Lessons membership. Like, we've got over 100 pre-recorded seminars. So if you remember, make sure you check them out. If you're not a member, I've hooked you up with a 14-day free trial below this video, so just click on it and you can go over and grab that. Now I'm going to shoot off down the studio with Rich. You can meet him and just check out his vibe. He's just one of the most down-to-earth guys you'll ever meet. Super cool guy. Then we're going to come back here into the apartment and talk about the modes, and I'm going to be sharing my super cool hack with you. Because it's a combination of mahogany and ash. I'm going to video it. It's a combination of mahogany. So is this ash? Yeah. And that's the mahogany. Oh, this is really nice right there as well, isn't it? Yeah.
And this, I love this around the screws.
Yeah, these little ferrules, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that wood then around the screws? Oh, wow.
Right?
Geek attack, I love that. So look at the front. What's this wood then here?
I think it's Che Chen. It's either Che Chen or Kokoboa. I can't remember. I think it's Che Chen one. Everything I do is related to the modes. Everything. It doesn't matter if I'm improvising or soloing or playing a Motown groove. If I want to go for a fill over the bass line of what's going on, then I'm going to use the modes to play that fill. Wow, well that was a wicked day.
What I'll do as well, guys, is I'll link off to Rich's Bandcamp and stuff below, so you can go and check his stuff out there. But remember, you know, he's done seminars for you guys already in the membership. So we're going to talk about the modes right now, and I'm going to share one of the coolest hacks that, or really, yeah, kind of a hack that really got the sound of the modes into my head. But before I do that, I also want to say at the end of this video, there's an amazing clip of a conversation between me and Rich. He's showing me some stuff on bass. He's showing me this way to double up notes within the pentatonics to make them sound like kind of like Joe Zawinul. He's also talking about sidestepping and playing out. But before you go check that out, make sure you check out this that I'm going to share with you now, because it really made a huge difference to my understanding of the modes, okay? So, the modes, what are they? In a nutshell, the modes, the word is a non-descriptive word, right? So in some music schools, the modes are actually referred to as chord scales, okay? It's the same thing, they're just called a different thing. So instead of modes, they're called chord scales. For me, that is a real key factor to what the modes are, right? So yeah, they're the modes of the major scale, but they are chord scales because every chord has the perfect mode, the perfect scale that goes with it. So that's why I really like to call them chord scales, okay? So for every chord, so for a major chord, the mode that goes with it is the Ionian mode. Okay, for the C minor, so C minor, it could be a Dorian mode. It could be a natural minor, which is the Aeolian mode. Okay, so every chord has a perfect mode, a perfect scale that goes with it. That's what the modes actually are. Now, let's break it down so you can see where the modes come from, and then I'll share this one really epic hack that really sorted it out for me. Okay, let's take a C major scale. If you play it C to C, that is the first mode of the of the diatonic major scale. It's called an Ionian, also known as C major. Now if you take that same scale, okay, and play it from the second note, okay, so we just take a C major, but we play it from the D to that D up there, so the same shape, but we're just starting on a different note. This time we're starting on D. That's D Dorian, okay? We'll do the same thing. We start on the third note of the C major scale. That's E Phrygian. Then the fourth note of the major scale. Okay, that's F Lydian. Okay, then we do the fifth note of the major scale. That's a G Mixolydian. Okay, so what you need to do to start off with is just memorize the patterns, okay, of the modes, and then memorize the names as well. So Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, Locrian. Okay, so they're the 7 modes, and all you're doing is taking a major scale and starting that major scale on different degrees of that major scale. Okay, so here's my hack. Okay, and this is how people usually practice their modes. They play C Ionian, right? Then they play D Dorian. Then they play E Phrygian. Then F Lydian. Then G Mixolydian. A Aeolian. Locrian, B Locrian. And then C Ionian. That's great, right? But what you're doing there, or I found for me personally, is that I could just hear C major over the entire thing. It just sounded like, it just sounded so C majory. So what really helped me is to practice each one of the modes unrelated to the key center it comes from. Okay, so practice each one of the modes unrelated to the key center it comes from. Okay, so how do you do this? It's super easy, and I actually stole this exercise from Joe Satriani. I saw him doing it on video, I practiced it, I was like, wow, that's fantastic. So all you do is, for instance, take two modes to start with. Let's take the C major, or C Ionian, and C Dorian. Okay, so I'm not playing C Ionian and then D Dorian. I'm playing C Ionian and C Dorian. It sounds like this. Dorian. Ionian. To Dorian. To Ionian. See what I'm doing there? So I'm just going between the two, C Ionian to C Dorian. And what I'm doing that, and the reason why I'm doing that is because it's giving me the real sound of the Dorian. I'm not hearing it in relation to the major scale that it comes from. I'm hearing it as its own entity. Each one of these modes is its own entity. It has its own characteristics. So for me, what really helped is breaking free of that, always relating it back to that diatonic key, and seeing the modes as their own thing. Okay, it's like they're all brothers and sisters, they're all siblings, right? But they all have their own personality, and that's what really helped me. So let's take another version of this. We could take, let's do it on an E drone. Okay, so let's take E Lydian, let's take E Lydian and E Aeolian. Okay, so okay, so and the cool thing about doing it in E is I can keep this drone going as well. So E Lydian to E Aeolian to E Lydian to E Aeolian to E Lydian Aeolian. So I'm going between the two. Now I've just gone between two modes. You don't have to do it between two modes. You can go between a few different modes, you know, 3 modes, 4 modes. And every time you change, okay, you're going to hear the characteristic of the mode change itself. You're not going to be relating it back to, you know, its parent key. So guys, try it out. Let me know in the comments if you if it works for you. It really worked for me. If you are one of these guys that like practice your modes and think to yourself, okay, well, why am I practicing these modes? Should I just not play C major, or just not play the major scale for all of them, because they're all made out of the major scale? That's the gag, right? That's the question I get so many times. You know, why do I need to learn the modes? Do I not just need to learn the major scale? The reason why we learn the modes is because they've each got a characteristic of their own, but the reason that we need to learn them like that, with that same root note, so basically like C major, or C Ionian, C Dorian, C Phrygian, C Lydian, C mixed Lydian, C Aeolian. If we do it like that, we hear the characteristic of the mode itself. Okay, so super cool stuff, and it made a huge difference for me. Now, I'm not going to sign off right now because I want to share a clip from today of Rich talking with me specifically how to double up notes within a pentatonic scale. It gives you this crazy, crazy sound. It's very, very cool. And then he also talks about sidestepping, moving down like a major third to get this really cool out sound. I'll let him wrap up this video. Again, thanks a lot for watching, guys. If you want to check out Scott's Bass Lessons, the membership over at Scott's Bass Lessons, you can grab a 14-day free trial below. Remember to subscribe to the channel, to the YouTube channel. Give us a like as well if you like this content. And other than that, guys, take it easy and I'll see you in the shed.
So I'll play something that's really just using the notes of the scale, but I might end on that 6 or something, or end on the 9.
Yeah.
So, like over this groove, like the 9 sounds really good, the 6 sounds really good. So I might base my bass lines around that 6.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of.
Yeah, so you get that real Dorian line.
Yeah, exactly. Which is the same. I mean, it serves the same function as, like, you know, the sharp 11, right?
Yeah,
on the major.
Yeah.
So I've always loved that harmony. So I try to bring that out a little bit. And it's cool because it sounds like I might be playing a little bit out, but I'm just using.
Yeah, it's just a tone within the chord.
Using what's there.
This thing you played earlier though was definitely, it was like you
Something
played
else?
Yeah, you played something like really out.
I
Yeah.
wonder what that was. I mean, there's a couple of things that I do. In Czech, like, I got really into Zawinul's solos after a little while, and I noticed this one thing he did a lot where. If he was playing on a particular harmony, he would take that harmony down a major third.
Alright.
And play on that a little bit.
Yeah.
Sounds like so super hip, you know?
What, the same chord type
Yeah.
down a major third?
And his stuff is really pentatonic, but he makes these huge jumps, you know?
Yeah.
That's where I got this thing. Like like the way that I play a pentatonic scale now, especially if I'm in the higher register. Like if I have a major pentatonic, then I'll play the 3rd and the 6th in 2 different places. So I get.
Yeah, you get that double. It's crazy sounding. Yeah.
That's just some Zawinul stuff.
Really?
Like, I love.
Come on.
But then, you know, like, okay, so if I'm playing, so that's just the A minor, and there's what that's like. So taking that down a major third, I can play that and then bring it back into something consonant, you know?
Yeah.
So. And then any phrase that I play,
move it out, slide it back in,
But it's not always, but like down a major third is like a really great way to sort of. I saw a thing that you did where you talked about sidestepping.
Yeah, just
Just
getting used to sort of like getting out and then going back in.
That's like the perfect place to start.
Yeah.
The 2015 Kickstarter challenge.
Hey everybody.
Hey.
Hey everybody.
Hi everybody.
Hello all. Hello.